All right, so now we will transition into the portion, speaking portion of the meeting. We have some great speeches. We have one speech from Dave DuRee, who is a past winner of the Terry McCann Achievement Award. And then we have a speech from both our nominees for this year, from Jonathan and Dan. So without any further ado, help me welcome Dave DuRee, a long-standing member and also our club treasurer. Woo! Dave DuRee.
Thank you, Colby. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
To this day, I marvel that I was chosen 3 years ago to be honored with the Terry McCann Award. That moment was truly a pinnacle in my life. I'm sure that I can only begin to imagine what it felt like for Terry when he won Olympic gold. I'm sure it took a lot of endless hours of practice, training for him to get there. And then I thought about, well, what about me? How did I get to that day that I was honored with this award? And it really made me stop and become introspective and think about what coalesced in me that brought me to that day. So back in the day, that's a great saying, I hear it a lot these days, you know, and to be honest with you, back in the day, I never thought I'd see the day that I would use the phrase, back in the day. But back in the day, at college orientation at UCSD, prior to attending the school there, we were pitched that our education would be a true Renaissance education. I immediately thought to myself, you know, I'm a young whippersnapper just out of high school, wow, endless medieval fare with all the trimmings, gestures, court gestures, jousting, wenches, oh boy, we're going to have a good time. Of course, then the reality set in. The school's philosophy, the Renaissance philosophy, intended that we become well-rounded individuals, that we learn about the arts, that we learn about literature, that we learn about science, that we understand the social issues of the day, so that we could understand what defined the culture that came before us, and then use those tools as we move forward into the future to round out our lives and fit in. I took this premise to heart, and the search for myself began. Now, it didn't take a lot because I had already had a great dose of enthusiasm and desire for exploration and adventure, so it was easy for me to latch on to that. Now, as I look back over this life that I've led some 30 years later, a key element has really come to fore in my mind, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. Now, insert Irish joke here. Just like an Irishman to forget to put the joke in. Well, here, I'll tell you what. Paddy McGillicuddy, Officer O'Shannon, and a bottle of whiskey. You guys fill in the details, okay? Now, you may be aware of a gentleman named Maslow and his hierarchy of needs. The idea was that after achieving some of the basic needs that we have, food, water, shelter, security, perhaps a committed love interest in your life, that the next level enters a sense of belonging, a need to belong, be a part of something bigger than yourself. It's continuity. And that's where this search in my life could have easily gone astray. You could get mired down in things like, what's the meaning of life? What was I meant to do? Am I doing the right thing? What will my legacy be? At times, we can become too immersed in our lives that we actually miss life as it rolls on past us. We can dig in. I know Joan was mentioning the other day in one of her speeches or conversation that she spent a lot of money. She was going to save us money on all this self-help stuff because she had done it all herself. And it's like, you know what? Just live your life. That's kind of what I took from that, Joan. And I agree with that. Because, you know, I've come to appreciate that the key to life is not necessarily the destination that you're heading for, but the road that you chose to travel and enjoying that trip. We were trained from an early age to think that way. When I grow up, I'm going to be a doctor. When I grow up, I'm going to be a fireman. I really did want to be a fireman. Oh well. When I get that Mercedes-Benz, then I will have arrived. Life will be good. Alas, this preoccupation with an occupation, this obsess for excess, it really leaves you nowhere. We all need to earn a living. Southern California transportation is a must. But it's just that focusing so intently on one thing, we lose our potential. We lose opportunity. It's like a horse wearing blinders going through life. It may be okay for some, but not for me. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about. The cure. I've got the antidote. Instead of trying to get it, give it away! Let go. Just be. Enjoy life. Become involved with no expectation of reward or accomplishment. Well, maybe the accomplishment's okay. But you'll be amazed at the result. And I had a hard time with this concept at first, but I learned to trust my instincts and let go and step back and life flow. And you'll be amazed at what happens. And the way I did this, the focus that I found was community involvement. Now there was a member of our club, Chris Turner, a few of you may remember Chris, great lady, and one day she got up here and she gave a speech about volunteering, being a big sister, and the joy that it brought her and just the surprising rewards that she got. Occasional smile, a little note from the person that she was the big sister to, and how it really changed her life dramatically. And she encouraged me to go out and look and say, okay, I'm not doing enough. I need to do more. I need to get more involved. And in doing so, I found my way. And there's other people in this club that have done that as well. Gwen Earl spoke to us last week about the Monterey Jazz Festival and her involvement in that over 20-something years, 27 years. And she's also involved with the Boys and Girls Club Youth Leadership Program. Gary Edkins, another person who's been involved with the Boys and Girls Club Youth Leadership Program. He's also a youth league coach. Our own Colby McFadden, Coastal Mountain Youth Academy, Boys and Girls Club, and surfing. Now, if you don't think of surfing as a club, I've got news for you. That's a club, and it's hard to get into. So, if you're going to go surfing, talk to Colby first. He'll get you in the door. But all these people, I'm sure they'll tell you that they didn't start out doing that with the expectation of specific reward. They did it because of whatever their personal need was for belonging. But I'm sure that they will tell you that the rewards have been many. And like me, being involved with Toastmasters, Dana Point Chamber of Commerce, the Dana Point Earth Ocean Society, Capistrano Valley Symphony, all these organizations that filled that need for me, the wealth of life snuck up on me when I wasn't looking. And one day, when I received that award, it dawned on me, I wasn't trying for that award, it just found me. And at that point I realized that all those fears I had about letting go were misplaced. And that truly, getting involved was the way to go. And that just by doing that, eliminating the fear, and just jumping in with both feet and living life, I found my way and I found the wealth. So, for all of you, I would encourage you, if you're not already involved, which I'm sure many of you are, get involved. Find something in the community to do. Give freely of your heart, and the abundance of life will flow to you.